You know, I don't know how my love of books started because I've always, as long as I can remember, I've been surrounded by books. I've got the first book I ever read right here. It was given to me by my second grade teacher. And my father in particular fostered a love of books. So we always had books. He always read to us, and he always encouraged us. And as long as I can remember, I've had books. I like to read history, particularly American history. Big into biography. Love political history. Love, you know, there's Shakespeare. I read a Shakespeare book every year, a book about Shakespeare. I love Jorge Luis Borges. I love C.S. Lewis, you know, but mostly history and biography. Well, President Bush and I had a reading contest. It started by accident. He started it. I finished it with a decisive victory, not 1 year, but 2 years in a row. It started by accident. He called me and on a Sunday afternoon in just before New Year's 2005, I believe it was, and we were gossiping, and I could hear Laura in the background, and she said she was saying something to him about New Year's resolutions. So he said, "Do you have any good New Year's resolutions?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got one. I want to get back in the swing of reading, so I'm going to read a book a week next year, 52 books." And he was very dismissive of it, and like, you know, stupid idea. So that was on a weekend, Saturday or Sunday, as I recall. And Monday or Tuesday, we were in the Oval Office, and the New Year had passed. I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and the New Year had started. And President Bush looked over at me in the Oval and said, "I'm on my second, where are you?" And so we went off to the races with a reading contest. He's about the most competitive person I know, not in a mean-spirited way. A lot of people validate themselves by being competitive. He's just competitive because he likes, you know, and encourages that around him. So, I mean, you play cards with him, you read books, I mean, you know, you ride bikes. I mean, you know, it's an expression of sort of his competitive nature, but it's done in a good-natured way. You know, there are points, though, at which, and book contest is one, where his competitiveness sort of irritated me, and I think I got the better of him by beating him for several years in a row. I capped the trophy, incidentally, which looks suspiciously like a used bowling trophy, but, you know, it's now been retired. I wanted Courage and Consequence to be something that people would pick up 10 years from now and say, look, I'm understanding the good things and the bad things. This is a, you know, attempt to be a durable insight into these consequential years for the country. So I ended up doing a lot of research. I ended up trying to reconstruct what had happened and why it had happened from my perspective and my recollection and my access to the documents. And then I went to others who were there at that moment in order to get their insights as well. I did a lot of interviewing, a lot more than I would have ever anticipated, because I wanted to get it right.